and welcome to Dogwood Hall. It's been a rainy day here, and it's given me an opportunity to make a short video. I realized I hadn't made a video in the last couple weeks. I've been working on some things behind the scenes, trying to get myself prepared to re-enter this tabletop role-playing hobby that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. And so I thought I might share one of the things that I've been working on over the weekend, which was the development of a fillable PDF monster development worksheet. And I want to share that down in the comments section so we'll have a chance to look at it. But let's go over to the computer and take a look at how we might use that for. I would like to begin by saying that Mausritter was created by Isaac Williams and is a copyright of Losing Games. I am not in any way affiliated with Losing Games. You are free to use this creature design worksheet in any way that you see fit. If you wish to attribute the creator to, or the creation of it to me, then you can call me Matt O'Brien or Bearmo2. It really doesn't matter to me. As long as you get some use out of it, I'll be happy. So we've already started filling out the form here, and I'll just go through a brief explanation of what each of the things are supposed to do. So name is obviously just a name for the creature type in general, not a given name for a specific creature. So it's not like Tom the Pygmy Hog, it's just Pygmy Hog in general. Then there's the standard stats from the Mausritter rules you provide for any monster. In this case, we're giving him 12 strength for the hog, 8 dexterity, 12 will. I just arbitrarily determined it to be 10 hit protection points. And now here's where there's a slight introduction on my part. I've actually put in a number of dice, sort of like hit dice would work in Dungeons and Dragons. And I didn't actually like roll 2 die 6 to get to 10 hit points. I again, just arbitrarily determined that. But since it would be 6-sided dice that you were rolling 4 hit protection points if it were a character, and so 6 plus 6 is up to 12. But since this roll is between 7 and 12, it would take 2 dice to account for that. And although the rules don't use hit dice for anything, I may at one point want to try and add that in or determine something else based on the number of hit dice something has. So I've included it. And then again, armor. I'm not suggesting that the hog is wearing barding or anything like that to say that it has an armor value. I think just that it has tough skin would be its 1 point of armor. And then we'll move on to the next section, which is a text box that you can add into. And there's actually about 3 lines of text available to you in that box and in the notes one below it. I think there's only about 2 in the once box. That's the 3rd box there. But, you can play around with where you need to put these things, where you have extra space. I chose to make it warband scale and put that right at the top, and then I added in its attack, so you might use a die 6 if it was just kicking with its hooves, much like a wore-out horse would be trained to kick. I'm saying the Pygmy Hog, when it's used by the rider toads, is trained to rear up and kick its foes. Or it might do a tusk gore, and I've given that a D8's worth of damage. And then things that I added in the notes were like critical damage would give an injured condition, although that's pretty standard fare from the rule book. I also gave some notes about it during gameplay that it's very stubborn and that it can only be ridden by trained toad riders. So in other words, the party of player mice isn't going to be able to take over one of these Pygmy Hogs and start using it as a mount. For once, these are usually pretty light and cheeky, so I just added it once to wallow and eat. Pretty standard fare for a hog, really. And then that last section down there is for the any random encounter tables that you add with the creature. Now, sometimes these are given as specific individuals within that group, and that's what I've done with this particular case. And other times it's just given as like different special events that might happen when you encounter one of these creatures. So that's another option you have. So they might roll 1 to 6 to meet a specific individual, or roll 1 to 6, something unique happens during that specific encounter. Now, the backside of the form works a little bit differently, and there's far fewer sections that you have to worry about adding information in. Really, only the description box is intended to accept text entries. And in that box, you would simply, provide a description of the image that you put in the box above that. And this would be something that you could, let your players read while they're looking at the image, and it won't give away any of that secret DM information from the front side of the form. And unfortunately, I don't have Adobe Livecycle or Bluebeam Review or any software that would let me put in a simple event button that you would be able to add an image directly into the PDF. So we'll have to go on to, we'll use GIMP to add an image into the PDF and export that. But before we move on, I guess the last thing is we've covered most of the form instructions in the course of this video. But if you get to using the form and you're wondering what I was thinking when I designed a particular section, then there's a set of form instructions that go on the back of the form that you can read to kind of prompt your memory. And I guess with that, we'll just move on to the next section, which will be adding in an image and then saving that as a single PDF. Hopefully everyone has a particular piece of image manipulation software that they feel comfortable with using, such as Photoshop, or in this case, the GNU image manipulation program, or GIMP. What we're going to do is open the PDF with GIMP. We'll select 300 DPI as our resolution. That will keep good print quality for the images and the text. And then we'll turn off the visibility for the first layer. We'll open our picture of the pygmy hog as a new layer. Use the resize layer options and potentially the alignment tool, or whatever you need to do to get that image in a place that you feel comfortable with, and then merge it down onto the underlying page or the second page of the original PDF file. And don't forget to turn the visibility of the first page back on. And then we're going to use the export as option. And the reason we're using export as is it will give us the option to export each layer as a separate page. Turn that on, and then also turn on the reverse pages option so that you'll get it back from normal page order. So with each 2 monster design worksheets, we can print them out in a 2x2 pattern as PDFs, and then we'll have a 4-panel sheet that we can fold in half. It actually becomes 2 monster cards. On the front side, we have all the pertinent Game Master information, but you can also hold it up for your players so that they can see the graphics and even read the description for the illustration that's provided. And turning to my trusty glue stick, you can kind of run that around this paper. And as usual, make sure the edges are well covered with glue, especially if you're planning on cutting these 2 sheets in half, cutting the sheet into 2 panels. Fold that over, glue it down. And once we have the two sheets, or single sheet, glued together, I have two panels. And you just cut those right in half. We've got two monster cards that you can use in gameplay. That concludes this project. Don't forget, you'll find a link to the form in the description below for my Google Drive, and also the example. You may also enjoy this video, or perhaps this video. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. And I hope to see you again at the next video.